All right, what's up, everybody? So Chevy Avalanche Series 6 order blow through part 3, and we're still getting together all of our pieces ready for the assembly steps. And if you've watched the previous videos, we took a look at the base that we've set up. We've cut out and assembled our cross braces for the center of the box, and I've got the rear piece down here, which is now finished. And the ends of the ports there are currently setting with glue. And then we have our baffles. So it's just a twin baffle. I actually thought about doing a third baffle with a countersunk baffle for this, but the 2 is going to be just plenty enough. So I haven't set these guys first. What we have to do here is we got to mark our cutouts first, cut out our top layer, and then we'll go ahead and glue and clamp and brad them together. And once they're set, we'll flush trim out the other hole. So moving along, we've got our left and right side now, or right and left. It's not a big deal. And just some small details when building with. There's one of my girls right there. You are creepy, dude. Okay. And just some small details with building. So I like to build with the cabinet grade radiator pine. It's very cost effective. I've talked about it before. I've got another video coming up later on. I got some samples under there, and we're going to talk about some of these timbers. I've used everything. I've built with everything, and we'll talk just a little bit about some of the things you need to know before you plan a build and what you're going to use and the different types of results you're going to get. So anyway, back to this part. So the pine, most of you may know this material, know you got a good side and a bad side. And as you can see here, we have our nice finished side, and then we've got our bad side. And so there's two big differences between them. Obviously, the bad side is the side that has the exposed imperfections, knots. Sometimes they have small surface cracks like this. Not a big deal. This is probably a bigger one that I've seen. But outside of that, it's fairly consistent. The only other big, I guess, thing you need to know about this is you have two finishes on each side. So the nice side is finished in 220 from factory, and the bottom side, or the bad side, is finished in 150 from factory. So in theory, if you're doing a build like this where you're going double wall, you're going to want to connect the sides that are finished with 150, obviously. So you have the nice sides on either side, and well, for the biggest reason is because it's smoother on the other side, and you've got less, I guess you could somewhat measure some type of better efficient airflow from the 220 side. And these get sanded again anyway before they go in, but just as an example or a small note that you can add in when building like this. But that's about it. I've got to cut out with the 45s and the support that goes in the rear port. And then I got to start to break down the pieces to do the, obviously the front side of the box, or the front panel, which I haven't done yet. And then we also have to finalize how I'm going to do the blow through port. So I do want to recheck some measurements on this truck. Some of you that know the Avalanches will know that they have a folding rear panel that's mostly made of plastic, but they do have these metal beams that go through the center to give it extra support. My goal was to port this box in a way that we didn't have to cut through those metal beams, just to keep it nice and, I guess, sturdy. And obviously a lot of the reason why is because big box going in, there's going to be lots of pressure in the cabin. I don't want that rear plastic panel to flex too much. It's going to need some work and a little bit of reinforcement. And as a part of this build, I'm going to do we're going to fabricate that hole for him and get it all snug and dressed up and looking good. So that's about it. Yeah, I just got to go back and revisit those dimensions just to make sure 100% that's how I wanted to do the the blow through port, but for the most of it, I'm pretty set in the design and how it's going to come out. So that's about it, y'all. If you got any questions, feel free to drop a comment. And if you've liked and subscribed, I appreciate it. If you need help with the build, shoot me a message on Facebook, y'all. Peace. There's no such thing as too much glue, y'all. These Miso 8s are probably some of the most seasoned Miso 8s in the country. They have assisted in many, many builds, and they have also been sent halfway to Mars and back. And I'll be sending them to Mars again and back pretty soon. While we were recording, my Duratex was dropped off by UPS. I got like 50 knives out here. Okay, let's use an old shitty one. I bought two gallons basically. I think it's going to be enough because we're going to roll this. I would usually prefer to spray, but just because of how big it is, we're going to roll. Alright, we're looking pretty good. But yeah, so the Duratex comes in two types. You got to spray on and you got to roll on. The coverage on this guy is badass, but you got to go through it pretty quick. I'm probably going to run this on. I've got a textured roller, but what I prefer to do is we start up with this guy here. This would be the initial coat, and then I'll switch over to the texture roller. But I'm fairly sure that I'm going to be able to finish this box with the two, if not maybe 1.5 thereabouts. The bottom of the box is probably going to get 3 coats, all the way around the corners or the high traffic areas, I call it. And then the rest of the box will most likely get 2 coats. But this is the good stuff right here. And then also another really good speaker coating that you can use is the Exo Hide. On my smaller builds, we tend to coat with Exo Hide. And the only other trick I have with Exo Hide is once it's done, I actually clear coat them a little bit with some good old Rust-Oleum clear coat, and does the trick really good. But yeah, let's go, yo.